I was born into a broken home. My father was absent. My mother was addicted to drugs. I have 3 other siblings, which are from different men, and their fathers actually took them away from my mom, and I was the only one left to just go through, I guess you could say, the tough road that I went through with my mom. I went from home to home. It's not that I got caught up in the system, in the legal system. My mom would allow me to just go with this person or that person, this friend or that, or whoever was willing to take me at that time, and just kind of bounce around, and I bounced around with my mom. And I remember at the age of 5 being in a battered women's shelter with my mom, and how even in that shelter, bad things had happened to me. As I grew up, I had no structure, I had no guidance, no discipline. I was pretty much on my own. I kind of went like on the wild side. I became like a wild kid, out of control. At the age of 15, I became pregnant with my daughter. At the age of 16, I did find a job. I was at a point that I had my daughter, and I knew that I had to do something. So I found a job. I was a hostess, then I worked my way up to a waitress, then a PIC, which is a person in charge, and then to assistant manager. I met a man at the age of 17 who I fell head over heels for, and I believe that he was truly in love with me. He wasn't too comfortable with me working, and he asked me to give up my job because he would, take care of me and my daughter at the time, and our soon-to-be son that we were going to have together. And I agreed, which was the worst mistake I could have ever done. At that point, when I became so dependent on him, he became abusive. He was never home with us. He was not there. And basically, I was stuck. I had nothing or nowhere to go. I did have another child with him, so we have 2 sons together. I was involved with this man for almost 15 years of my life. 11 of it was very abusive. It got to a point where I was at the point where I said the only way out of this relationship was I was going to kill myself or kill him, because I didn't see any other way out of this relationship. Because in the past I have tried to get away from him, and for whatever reason I always ended up back there, and he would just abuse me even more. And I just got to a point where I was even that much more afraid of him. In 2007, it got to a point where an immigration judge finally said enough is enough. He got deported in 2007 for 10 years. He's not able to come back. At that point, I found myself and my children to be homeless. Everything that we had together was basically his, because he was the sole provider, and his family was not going to allow me to have any of it. So, but they were willing to take in my children off the street, so they did take in my children. And myself, I just was homeless. I became homeless. I just lost hope in myself. I had nowhere to go, nowhere to turn to. I was afraid. I didn't know what to do, because I've never been in that situation of literally being on the streets by myself, going through. So becoming homeless, I was still a drug addict. But when I became pregnant, I remember that because I had a surgery on my back. I had a tumor on my back. And I remember after my surgery, I got to a point, and this is before I knew I was pregnant, I said, if I had to choose between my drugs or God, I would choose my drugs, because I didn't know anything different. So if, God, you want me to be delivered, you have to take it from me. And I remember I got really, really sick, and I woke up one morning and I had no urge or craving to get high on drugs, and everyone around me was doing drugs. And probably about a week after that, I found out I was pregnant. I was about, I think, 12 weeks pregnant. And at that point I knew I had to, make changes. My grandma, one of her friends at church, told her about Casa Teresa. So I called Casa Teresa, and I did the intake. I was accepted into Casa Teresa on September 9th of 2009. It was the best thing that had ever happened to me. Casa Teresa just has really helped me turn my life around. I was the first mom to get her GED in the GED program. I cleared all my legal matters. They gave me the tools, the structures I needed to be a mother again and to be a healthy person in society. I graduated from the parenting program to move to T1. I enrolled as a first-time college student at Golden West College, then transferring to Santa Ana College. And I graduated from T1. And before leaving T1, I found a transitional living program through the Salvation Army, which was 2 years. I really feel becoming pregnant again has really been a blessing from God, because I feel it's a way that God has turned my life around and given me a second chance at being a good mother and a great role model to all my children. I have 4 children, my oldest being 21, and then I have a 17-year-old, a 13-year-old, and my wonderful 3-year-old. And I also have a granddaughter. I just graduated from Santa Ana College with my associate's degree in liberal arts. I transferred to Fullerton this semester, and I am working on my bachelor's in sociology, and then I will transfer to work on my master's in social work. I really want to be able to work with like homeless and just families in need, because I want to be able to give back to the community. I also do volunteer work at the preschool where Casa Teresa's babies will go for childcare. During my summers or any time that I have off, I do a lot of volunteer hours there. I volunteer at their holiday hope that they have. I just want to be able to give back to the community, because so many people believed in me and, gave their time, energy in helping me.